Hello out there, Diggs Live channel subscribers. I am here today with Kristen Starvos, a relatively new friend for me. Hi, Kristen.
Hi.
Hi. So I met Kristen at a gig that I did up in Tacoma, Washington. I totally fell in love with that area, not least amongst the reasons because it has a reasonable temperature in the summer as opposed to the cooker that we live in during the 6 weeks of LA hell. And so for a long time, I thought that the Pacific Northwest consisted of Seattle because, you know, I'm your basic, ignorant Southern Californian who never went east of the I-5. And what I found out when I went to Tacoma is there's all these amazing places that someone could live. And I'm kind of working through my new friend lists, exploring all these super, super cool areas that a Californian can go, and our equity in our homes will go so far. So Kristen, hi there. How are
Hi, Kendall. Thank you for having me. This is a treat.
Oh, good. Well, it's a treat for me too, because I know nothing about the area of the Pac Northwest that you're in. So I kept getting it wrong and getting it wrong and then getting it wrong again. So you live and work in an area called Whidbey Island.
Correct. Whidbey Island.
Whidbey Island. In fact, I'm gonna write that on the screen because nobody is gonna know how to spell this. So Whidbey Island. That's where. So there it is on the screen. Whidbey Island. And so tell us where that is in relationship to the only thing any of us know down here, which is Seattle.
Yeah. Okay. Great question. So Seattle is about a 2.5 hour drive from where I live.
North or south?
South.
Okay.
And then it is about a 2.5 hour drive to the other international airport, which is up in Vancouver, BC. So we're kind of...
Are you midpoint between Vancouver, BC and Seattle?
Correct.
Okay. So it's a 2.5 hour drive no matter what you do for an international airport.
Correct. Correct.
But there's a local airport?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. So...
We used to have little planes come through here that would take you to the international airport. Didn't make enough money, but the rumor on the street is that might be coming back.
Okay. All right. So then the people who live in Whidbey Island pretty much are there for the lifestyle. They're not commuters to somewhere else.
Not entirely true. So we have a lot of people who either do most of their work is travel and then working from home, or they're from home. I worked from a agency that was in Seattle and Tacoma for 6 years from the island. So there are still some commuters, but they do it in like chunks.
Okay. All right. Right. So they don't do it like, 3 days on, 4 days off. They might take off for a couple of weeks to wherever the mothership is and then come back and they're working remotely. Is that?
There is a major commuting community for Boeing. So Boeing employs and it's Boeing is right off the island, off the south end of the island. So Whidbey Island is this long, weird-looking island. It takes about an hour to drive from the tippity top north to the tippity south on the main highway. And then it's all sorts of offspoots from there. So it's a big, long island. Some people would like to say that it's the longest natural island in the contiguous United States. Long Islanders don't buy that because Long Island is way longer.
The Googles could probably answer that for us.
Exactly. If Long Island is not a peninsula and it truly is an island, it's way longer. So, but we're pretty long.
All right, pretty long. So what I'm hearing then is my JPLers. Anybody who's at JPL, if you're a propeller head or if you're a metal head, then Whidbey Island, it could be an option for you.
Yes.
The world, because my JPLers generally don't make enough money to buy a house near JPL. I'm just saying.
Right. And these guys, the commute off the ferry. So there's a ferry at the south end of the island that takes them to the mainland. And there's a bridge that connects us to the mainland on the north end.
Okay.
Famous bridge called Deception Pass Bridge.
Okay.
And then the people who are Everett Boeing people, they typically live down south and they'll either take their motorcycles across because the ferry allows the motorcycles on first.
Right.
Or they'll take public transportation off because they're driving on and off.
One of those cool Vespas. I want the sea green one with the matching helmet.
Yes. Actually, there are some Best Bud riders.
I would totally do that with a scarf, you know.
Yeah, I could see that, Kendall. I could totally see that.
Yeah, I would do like the whole Doctor Who deal thing. That's what I would do. So,
helmet.
exactly. All right. So we've got that kind of handled. So here's the really big question that I think California wants to know, besides whether or not I can deal with the weather. And we'll get to that in a second.
Right.
So we really want to get into, what will my money do for me if I were to consider going to Whidbey Island? So here's a question that I asked you in the notes before.
Yes.
What would a upper middle class to middle class house that's got 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, maybe a nice family room, like, I don't know, 2,000-ish square feet. A normal lot for us is 6,000. So you can tell me what's normal there. What would that cost on Whidbey Island?
Right. So the only place that you're really going to find those types of stats, and really the parcel size is the biggest issue question, is in Oak Harbor. And Oak Harbor is the hub of business. It's where our Naval Air Station base is. So we have like neighborhoods in Oak Harbor that are, and to buy a really nice 2,000 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you're talking about $350,000, $375,000, $350,000, $375,000. But that's one of the few places that has those like cut up standard neighborhoods. As you go south, you start to get into more rural areas, and you're looking at, 5-acre parcels. Yeah.
What
and
now 5
now
acres looks like. I can't process that. It's like 5,000 square feet I can deal. 5 acres? What the fuck does that look like?
Or, where as they get closer to the shoreline, so we have a lot of shoreline here. So water views are the big thing. And you can get a house with a water view for under $400,000. It may not be the size you want, or it may not be in the condition that you want, but you can have a spectacular water view for, actually, yeah, you could totally have a good water view with a decent house for $400,000.
Yeah, we won't talk about what water views cost in California.
Yeah, no.
No.
The size of our skinny Long Island, so there's a lot of potential for water views, which is great.
Wow, so
as you move down to the south end, prices get a lot more because you're talking bigger parcels, a bigger chance of getting water view. And so then you start to move into kind of the minimum $450 for a nice middle upper class. And then you can go as high as,
right,
depending on location.
But people like you and me, kind of your basic, well, I don't know, you might be hoity-toity, but people like me who are just normal folk with a reasonable education, and we like taking a vacation every couple of years.
Yeah. Maybe we can.
Exactly. So that lifestyle is around the $350 to $400 mark for a house.
Yes, you can absolutely have a phenomenal lifestyle.
Wow, that's amazing. And the houses, are they like older houses, newer houses?
Everything in between. We've got a lot of new construction going on now for the island. A lot of new neighborhoods being built in the Oak Harbor area, and then a lot of kind of custom construction happening on all these vacant parcels that people have been sitting on for a while until construction costs came, and market went up, and all that. So.
Okay. What about property taxes? You actually grew up in California, so you know what it's like here. We have kind of a set thing. What's it like up there?
So Island County, which is the county we sit in, is, so out of the, I don't know, I'm going to say, this is not an accurate number, but say there's like Washington State, that's way too many, but we are down at the bottom. We're like just, 2 or 3 counties up from the bottom in terms of property tax. Our commissioners, the powers that be, purposefully for years have kept our property taxes super low. So let's say, so we happen to own an old farmhouse on 10 acres that we got for $400,000, and it came with a shop and all this awesomeness. Oh, and our property taxes are like 24.
In case of a zombie apocalypse, I'm coming to you.
Yeah. You and all my friends, like we have our own well and a little pond, and like we raise sheep, and so everybody's coming to our house.
So we're good. You raise sheep, I knit, we're good.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, I sidebarred you. Taxes are low, commission, keep going.
Taxes are super low. Like, so $2,400 a year, I think, is what we pay in taxes.
Okay.
They get.
How do you know when it's going to go up? I mean, how do they assess you?
So it's very interesting. I don't know how it works there in California. I just know property taxes are really high there. Here,
no, they not. I mean, what happens is you're assessed when you buy the house, but it can't go up more than 2% a year, no matter what happens to the property value. Yeah.
I know we have a rule. I think it's 1% actually, that standard goes up. But what they do is they saying your house for, wait, I take that back. So like your property taxes can go up as much as you want. I haven't seen them go up hardly at all in the 12 years that I've lived here.
Wow.
But now they're starting to catch up and they're assessing properties more accurately for the market. And so we're seeing that go up a little bit. They're mostly just catching up with the market valuations for the homes.
I see. Okay. All right. How about cost of living type things? Like how much does a gallon of gas go for there?
What is it at right now? $2.50?
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. And how about a gallon of milk?
Oh gosh, we don't drink milk.
Okay, a dozen eggs.
It's about $2.50.
A $2.50? Okay.
Well, it depends on if you buy the eggs from one of our egg stands or farm stands, or if you buy it in the supermarket. So you can, buy them for as cheap as
this egg stand thing. Yeah. I mean, you got to talk to me like my language. Baby, talk like an urban person. So.
Lots of farms on the island. So it's a very rural, like you've got these.
I've seen those on TV, man.
Yeah. It's awesome though, because they, you want fresh eggs? A fresh egg off the farm is like bright orange, like not this yellow, watch my language, not these yellow yolk,
I cuss all the time.
Stuff. Okay, good. But they are like neon orange. And I remember like having some family up from California and they cracked it. First of all, why is the outside of the egg kind of look blue? This is weird. And then what is wrong with this like nuclear egg in here with this bright orange yolk? And I was like, that's because it eats bugs and grass and like healthy stuff and is 10 million times better for you and actually tastes better. So
that's what I've read about that on TV too. So yeah,
it's all here.
But in a grocery store, because we don't know how to deal with this farm stuff. The general mass-produced factory eggs that I'm used to, how much does that cost?
$1.50.
Wow. Holy cow. Okay.
But the farm fresh, you're talking $3 or $4 a dozen.
Yeah, I'd pay $3 or $4 for that. I'm sure I get real eggs at farmers markets, but like I don't have that much money, so whatever. Okay. Let's talk about your people. So what kind of people live there? What are they into? What do they do? Not necessarily for a living, because I imagine the people who would listen to this podcast or would go, because they have the freedom to. So let's talk about recreation. What takes up their time? What are they into? What do they believe in?
So I will tell you, the retirement community up here is huge. That accounts for a mass percentage of our people. Mm-hmm. And they may still be doing a little bit of work or consulting or something, some sort of side gig, but most of our people are retired or they're Navy like related.
Okay.
And then is really broad. And because people come up here because they really want to be here, they get very involved in this community. Either they hide out in the woods and they don't talk to anybody and you don't even know that or they're a member of some environmental group, or they volunteer at our animal shelter, or they're involved in Lions Club and, some of those other standard clubs, but heavy volunteer community on this island. Okay. There is because of maybe the Navy population, military at the north end of the island, tends to be a little bit more, leans a little bit more right. And then
your red state is in the north and your blue state is in the south. Is that what's shocking?
Hippie hippies, the people who maybe believe in fairies and, everyone's an artist. Right. You'll find a little bit more of that down in the south.
Practical realists are in the north part of the island. Right. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, totally. There's this dividing line in the middle. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, they're the ones that are stocking up for the zombie apocalypse.
Exactly. And then there's those of us in the middle.
You're the purple party. Neither right, neither red. Yeah. I'm thinking about running for president of the purple party banner. I kind of figure we're the only ones that are actually reasonable. What about shops and entertainment? I remember that video you did. You went to all those cute little areas. Tell me about that.
So my parents came from Southern California to move here, and my dad was like, I need to be within 15 minutes of a Home Depot. Like, I just have to, because
I like your dad.
Projects and I need things. So up north in the Oak Harbor area, that's where you get a lot of convenience. It's kind of an ugly town, actually, Oak Harbor, but you've got big stores. So you've got your Walmart, your Home Depot, we had a Kmart that actually closed. Tons of big grocery stores. You got your Safeway, all that. As you get down south, like, so Coopville, quaint village with lots of little pokey stores and like beautiful little things, but not really very convenient. Tons of restaurants, coffee shops, that sort of thing. And then as you know, further down south, Langley, Green Bay, big grocery stores, lots of little shops, mom and pop shops.
So in that hippy dippy area that you talked about just before Langley, how long would it take to drive from there to, say, this Oak Place or this other down on the bottom?
From Oak Harbor to Langley is about 35 minutes.
By Southern California standards.
I know. But here's what I warn all my California clients is that once you start living on the island, it doesn't seem like 35 minutes is that long, but there's like this weird dividing line on the island, and like it really is hard to go south, to go north. So even though it's only 35 minutes on the clock, you will find island time and island-esque.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of that dropped out, unfortunately. So there's a dividing line. And what makes the dividing line?
Well, just Green Bank is sort of this dividing line where people who live in the South Island, or South End, don't come north very often. And people who live in the north don't really come south very often. It feels like a long ways away.
Kind of a culture thing. It's kind of like I'm in a town called Glendale, and Pasadena is just over the hill.
Yes.
And it's 6 miles, but it's 6 miles I don't cross.
Exactly. It's kind of a weird, phenomena. Unless you want to go have quaint experience at some farm that's down south, or you want to go eat at a special restaurant in Langley, or go poke in their shops. It's not going to happen.
All right. So
one thing I missed when your previous question is, because we're surrounded by water, almost everybody does something that's water related. So they have a boat, they do paddle boarding, they sea kayak, they go crabbing, fishing, big water centric area.
You can get crabs by just going out to the shoreline.
So I have like friends who, they don't own a boat, they don't own a paddleboard, but they have this little dinghy thing, and they take this big old crab pot that's like almost they're floating on. They paddle, wobble to, offshore, drop the crab pot, come back and pick it up a few hours later, and they have fresh Dungeness crab for dinner. So, I mean, you can make it happen here.
Okay, so when I come for the zombie apocalypse, I have some crabs ready, because I do Chinese crab like nobody's business.
Oh, don't make my mouth water. I'm so hungry. I forgot to eat lunch. Oh, I don't want to hear about it.
With ginger and scallions, and I do a version with black bean sauce, and it's just like, ooh.
Okay, so these Dungeness crabs, you would die, because they are the meatiest. Like, you get a lot of meat from these crabs. Italy crabs, and they're so delicious. You don't even need butter.
Okay. Yeah, we don't. That's what we don't do. Sorry, just like butter. That is just like, that is so not what you put on a crab.
Agreed, because I think it's waste. But
it is. So we'll do crab Chinese style, or with nothing on it, and just have all the crabby glory. Right?
Crab glory, yes.
Yeah. So crab season, like February, March, I'm all over that, girlfriend.
Clams, oysters, you name it. Penn Cove mussels are world famous. So those Penn Cove mussels come from Whidbey Island.
You need to shut the F up, because I'm getting hungry.
No, me too. I'm starving. So yes, okay.
Girlfriend. No. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you grew up in Costa Mesa. You're an OC girl.
Yes.
You were there long enough to know how we feel about your weather.
Yes.
So how much does it actually rain?
Okay, so I'm going to show you this little map. And if anybody wants like a version of this, the dark blue is darker the color, the more rain. And the lighter, the less rain. Okay. So a little secret about Whidbey Island, you'll notice that like up here where I live in the Coopville, Oak Harbor area, there's no rain. But don't tell anybody. Like, don't tell anybody.
Wait, you got to distill that down for me. When you say no rain, is that your idea of no rain, or my idea of no rain?
My idea of no rain, because
that's what we want to get down to the bottom of.
One of the things I hated about growing up in Southern California was that there were no seasons. It never rained. It never rained. It was like this kind of sunny versus that kind of sunny. And I want season. So yes, there's a spring here. There's a fall. There's winter kind of stinks at around January. You need to go away on a vacation.
Have a fall. We even have some trees that change their leaves. Like every couple of miles, you'll see one.
Sure. Okay. Whatever. Yeah. Come out here. So 21 inches is what we get per year. I don't know what that equates to 0 in Southern California.
No, I mean, we get like 8 or 9 inches. That's a decent, 16 inches would be a lot for us.
Okay. So not too much.
So, but okay, forget about inches.
Yeah.
Let's just take your average winterish month. I'm going to pick November.
Oh, November's lovely. No, I love November.
What's your rainy month up there? A typical rainy month. February?
No, I think January is kind of our worst month. Like
January is bad all over the world except here. So let's talk. That's why we have the Rose Parade. Let's not talk about that. Okay, so January.
Yes.
How many days in the month of January would you expect it to rain? Just ish.
In the month, I'm going to say that it probably rains about on average, 2 days a week.
Okay. So in that 7 days in that week, how often would you see the sun?
That is the problem.
Oh.
January is a gloomy month.
Gloomy month. Well, my husband's from Modesto, and in Modesto, there is no sun to be had in January. So,
yeah, exactly. So maybe a day or two a week.
Okay. So it's not going to be, you wouldn't expect, I mean, it can happen, but you wouldn't expect 30 days of solid clouds and no sun ever.
Oh, no. Okay.
I mean, because that, frankly, is, I think, what we're afraid of. We're afraid that we won't see the sun, we'll get depressed, and then we'll commit suicide and take our family out with us.
So,
not that I make things extreme at all, but
I mean, not that Californians really even know what rain is, but there's different kinds of rain. Okay. And here it's not like Southern California rain. Like from what I can remember, mind you, I was 18 when I last went there.
What does that mean?
It's like this misty, drizzly. You could put on a light parka and go for a walk really nicely, easily.
Like God is basically crying on you all day long.
Just soft tears, more like misting. It's a very gentle.
Good, full on cry, get it over with, get it out. You know.
Yeah. Me too. But
okay, so there's this soft mist, which is why everything is probably incredibly green there, right?
Yes. So it's not like a heavy, crazy. I'm drenched, and I will never dry. You can do activities in the rain, and people do. People get out and get into nature in January.
People in Portland tell me they go and do everything that we do. It's just that they get over it already.
Exactly.
Okay, so
becomes normal.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Since you were a Southern California girl, I'll take your word for it. Cool.
Yeah. But I had an aversion to too much sun too. So if you're a Californian who just feels couldn't it just have some change in the weather just in the next 6 months?
We have the weather. We go, I mean, just 2 weeks ago was 115 and now it's 88.
Yeah, 88 for us is a pretty hot day.
Okay.
It's a really warm day.
Yeah. What temperature did you tell me it was today?
It might be 65. It's pretty cold today. This is a cold summer day.
Is there sun?
There is sun. It's peaky boo.
65 and sun sounds like that's pretty awesome.
Kendall, it is gorgeous up here. You drive the island and I still, I've been here for 12 years and there are certain corners, a lot of corners that I come around in my car on the main highway, not side roads or anything like that. And I'm just oh, look at the mountains, look at the water, look at the green hills. It's crazy beautiful here.
It does sound pretty nice because in July, August for us, it's look at the brown, look at the brown, look at the brown.
Yeah. In the sky and the yeah, exactly.
Brown in the sky, brown on the hills, brown.
I don't even remember what smog looks like. I know that word. And there's a
smog.
restoration.
It's not smog. It's the inversion layer.
Right, right.
Yes.
We used to call it smog.
No. It's the inversion layer. It is the mists that give us our name, Valley of the Mist, Los Angeles, right? It's just the mist.
Yeah.
There's a few particulates in there that might give you the illusion that there is brownness, but it's just the inversion layer. It's mist.
For 5 years of my life, I used to live in New Zealand, and I would fly from New Zealand to LAX. And the
Inversion layer.
it was shaking, like, to come back into LA and just like see
The inversion layer. Yes.
to see the inversion layer and the rivers, the concrete things that.
Yes, the Los Angeles River, where it is kept from flooding out the neighborhoods around it by its banks that happen to be concrete. Banks.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, in fact, I'm trying to get tickets to kayak down the LA River. That's kind of a big deal.
What?
Yeah, the Corps of Engineers, we've been trying to actually restore the LA River to somewhat closer to what it was. Yeah. So it actually is pretty often. We've got a lot of egrets and herons, waterfowl. Yeah, it's actually super, super cool. It's called the Glendale Narrows. We've got bike paths along it, and it's
Glad to hear this.
Yeah, it's actually super cool. Nothing like what you all are used to.
Yeah.
But
what's going on in my backyard, Kendall? Like,
yeah, for us, this is a big walking deal.
Like yesterday, literally, I was walking the property with my kids. We saw no less than. There were 2 great blue herons, like tons of birds. Like it was nuts. It was.
I see a heron and I fall down dead because it's so awesome. And you like every 5 years, like, oh my God, that's a bird.
Yeah. The owls came out as we got to dusk, and we saw a couple owls. Like it was phenomenal, and we could do that every day. Okay,
so if I get on a plane in the next hour, so I can be there in about 5. Okay,
we can watch the eagles like do their thing at night.
You know what? When I'm about to board the plane, I'll just give you a call so you can start your 2.5-hour journey down to SeaTac, right?
I know. But there's a really nice shuttle that takes you. It's called the Whidbey SeaTac shuttle. Takes you from Whidbey Island to SeaTac. Like
nice.
Nonstop.
Go. Make it easy. Kristen, this has been so much fun. If people want to contact you and find out more about relocating to Whidbey Island, how do they get a hold of you? What's the best way?
I think the easiest way is to go on Facebook and search for My North Whidbey. So hopefully people can find that pretty easy.
So My North Whidbey, like that, right?
Spaces between. Like it's Facebook, so it'll find me by space.
My North Whidbey. I mean, we want to make sure they can find you. So My North Whidbey, type that into Facebook. Kristen is pretty much always there because I pinged her in a panic attack 2 days ago and she answered like right away. So and she's nice, unlike me, and so she'll actually say nice things to you and answer your questions and not be snippy or sarcastic. Which
once you get to know me, maybe there's a little bit of that. But
really? So you're fooling us right now.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
my poor
cool. If you're gonna be a bitch, be it now.
I don't know about bitch, but sarcasm is my middle name when you get to know me. So
right, sarcasm rocks. Although I did find out, to my chagrin, sarcasm does not translate to other languages, and it doesn't do well in Facebook groups. Who knew?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. In writing, not so much.
Not so much. Yeah, right. They can't see the, just joking. Yeah, can't see that. All right, girlfriend, this has been.
Thank you, Kendall.
Thank you so much. And I can't wait to see your 10 acres and find out what the heck that looks like. I need to
get you crab. Like, I need to go crabbing right now.
So when I come up to Whidbey Island, we're going to Facebook Live it. And I'm going to say, dude, this is what she was talking about. Isn't this cool?
I love. We'll get you in some gumboots out there clamming. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, again, I read about that in some anyway, yeah. I didn't know people actually did that. Seriously?
Oh, yeah. And they eat them. Yeah. Awesome.
Like we
will do that. What?
They're not poisonous? I mean,
like you can actually eat them. I know. What is like California have all poisonous shellfish now?
I wouldn't eat anything that came out of Santa Monica Bay. No, I would not.
Me neither. Me neither. But here, yes, we're still good.
I'll take your word for it. We'll try it next time. We'll see if I get sick.
Awesome.
Love it. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
well,
We'll be talking with
take
you
care.
soon. Bye.